I mean, there's a lot of organizations that can do the work, but what you need to have is the right people and the right connection and just sort of really intuitively understanding what we needed. I'm Leslie McLaren. I'm Marketing Communications Lead for the CWB Welding Foundation.
I'm Matthew LeBlanc. I'm the Communications Officer, also the CWB Welding Foundation.
What made you pick Wow Digital for your website redesign project?
I think for me, I mean, we certainly put in an RFP. It was a very fulsome package we returned back. I think for us as well, just really finding that right fit, right? I mean, there's a lot of organizations that can do the work, but what you need to have is the right people and the right connection and just sort of really intuitively understanding what we needed. And then certainly on the back end, once the completion is done, that sort of aftercare package and support that your team provides is, I think, really kind of sealed the deal for us.
In terms of budget that you spent with us for the project, do you think you got good value from it?
Yes, 100%. I mean, you were very competitively priced. Yeah, for sure. I mean, your team's been really responsive. We've had some changes, and you certainly had a lot of patience and some hand-holding through us as we kind of went through some bumpy roads. But you always kind of kept things calm and on track and assured us we were going to love the results, and you were right. So we're very, very pleased with the results of the site.
Are you satisfied with the time that was spent on the project in terms of the timeline?
Yes, absolutely. I think your team, especially Daniel and Otmar, did a fantastic job at trying to implement everything that we were asking for, and even going above and beyond with all the different changes that we kept asking you guys to help us figure out and make. Yeah, definitely. I'd say you guys get 5 stars for that.
Did you find value in our weekly calls and check-ins that we had about the project? And how do you feel about the communication with our agency?
I think the communication was great. I thought the back-end platform, being able to comment on the site and have that conversation directly where it needed to happen, instead of trying to explain what's on this page halfway down over on this word. It was, here's the comment exactly where the issue is. I actually really loved that. I thought it was very productive. I wish other developers would have something like that too, especially in my past projects. It's a great thing to have. And to even just like continue the conversation after the fact, like through emails or when we come to the meeting, like we're already caught up on what's been happening because we're getting notified of like the conversation and whatnot, things being developed and changed and fixed.
No, it is good because you've got the people, the hands-on of the project, like Matt, who's just, living and breathing it every day. So there certainly is value in that weekly communications call because we've got senior leadership that, it's a big spend. You want to know what's going on, are things progressing, and, it allows us to be really nimble and kind of make changes weekly. We're not too far into the weeds before we go, oh, that's right. So we could really change things on the fly if needed or redirect or redesign or whatever. So absolutely.
Would you recommend our services to another organization or contact who might find value from a redesign?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys are great.
100%.
What was your favorite part of the project and why?
When you see it finally starting to take form, right? I mean, we're really limping along a quite outdated site for some time. So as you start seeing that design take place and you can see that vision is coming, the team starts getting excited about it. So I think for me, that's it. When you can see the finish line, right? That's when you kind of go, yeah, this is going to be fantastic.
So again, I think my favorite thing about the whole project was the feedback module and how easy it was to have a conversation and to make sure we're making the right edits and getting the right things done directly on the site, exactly where it needed to happen.
What was your impression of our branding and design process?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're really thrilled. When you started out, right, you gave us the design, a couple alts, and so we really sort of cherry picked the best of all those pieces that we like to create a real wholesome site that's really graphically pleasing. So yeah, we're thrilled with it.
Yeah, I think we picked out the best parts that really work for our organization to tell the story that we want to tell and to have the functionality for our partners or sponsors, welders, students, everybody who comes onto our site, whether it's for an application form or just to find out more about our organization.
What do you feel about the hub page that we put together for you for the project?
I actually liked having the timeline and the Gantt chart. because it let you see exactly like what you guys are up to. It allowed us to work towards something, and it created like visibility between the teams, because it's kind of hard to see like what you guys are up to and what you guys are working on. So it was nice to be able to go back there and use that. That was the main thing that I went on there for. But it is nice to have a place where meetings are held, and any training we're going to have, the videos are going to be up in the back end. So it's nice to have that like repository, as it were, just for us. And I'm sure it would be helpful for the team if we onboard somebody new in the future and they need to get caught up on how to use the back end. We can just show them the video that we recorded of the training.
During the project, we implemented a feedback module on the site. What were your impressions about that?
Oh, I loved the feedback module. Let Leslie go first, 'cause I've already talked about it. Like,
Yeah, I thought the feedback module was great. It allowed us, right, to edit in place where things were. And I think as the piece I really liked is, as changes were made, I would get feedback. I would get notices in my email that something had been resolved. So I'm not kind of thinking, where is it at? I know that it's constantly being updated and changed. So from that perspective, it was great. Really easy to use, which was wonderful, because we had our whole team at places towards the end where we're doing that sort of last look, last edit. So we've got folks that aren't really familiar with working with that kind of tool, had no problem signing in and making their edits and changes for you to proceed with. So yeah, it was terrific.
Is there anything else that you would like to add or speak about?
We kind of touched on this, but I would really like to just say your team is an absolute pleasure to work with. So responsive. They're patient at times when they probably, didn't need to be, or found it frustrating with us, but just a really wonderful, responsive team. And it's a lot of work, but we had some fun along the way. Kudos to WOW.
I thought your team was great, particularly Daniel and Mark, because those are the two people I worked with the most. What I really liked was like nothing ever got lost. And I know sometimes in these big projects, you ask for something to be implemented, or you mention something and it never gets resolved, or like it's just parked and people forget that it's parked there. And I always felt like Daniel was on top of that, like for sure, because he was always bringing it up during meetings, like, okay, we talked about this last week and this happened on the site this week, and he's always on top of all that stuff. So I thought he was very attentive, and it was just great to get everything that we basically asked for. I thought your team was great.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
Mostly painless, yeah. So Matt, how do you really feel about the feedback module?
Yeah, you want some feedback about the feedback module?